have done one of Harry's arms and one of Harry's legs, and I'm going to show you how to do them both. So starting with his other leg, I'm going to get the black yarn, and it says round 1, 6 double crochets into magic ring. So by now you should know I'm going to do a slip knot onto my hook. I'm going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and I'm going to do 6 single crochets into the second chain from hook. 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So for round 2, increase 6 times. So I'm going to do 2 single crochets into every stitch around for a total of 12 stitches. So increase into every stitch. 1 and 2 into the first stitch. 3 and 4 into the second. 5 and 6 into the third. 7 and 8 into the fourth. 9 and 10 into the fifth, and into the last stitch, stitches 11 and 12. So for round 3 it says double crochet 2, increase times 2, double crochet 4, increase times 2, double crochet 2. So I will single crochet 2, do 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches, single crochet 4, 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches again, and then single crochet 2 for a total of 16 stitches. So I'm going to single crochet 2, 1 and 2. Then I'm going to do an increase in the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2 into the next stitch, 1 and 2 into this following stitch. Then I'm going to single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then I'm going to increase twice, so increase in the next 2 stitches again, 1 and 2 into the next stitch, 1 and 2 into the next stitch, and then finish with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. So we now have 16 stitches. For round 4 it tells us to double crochet 2, increase 4 times, double crochet 5, increase twice, double crochet 3. So for round 4 I will single crochet 2, do 2 single crochets into the next 4 stitches, double crochet 5, single crochet 5, followed by 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. We're going to finish with 3 single crochets for a total of 22 stitches. So begin with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, then followed by 4 increases, so 2 single crochets into the next 4 stitches. So 1 and 2 into the first stitch, 1 and 2 into the second, 1 and 2 into the third, and 1 and 2 into the fourth. Now we're going to single crochet 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we're going to do an increase twice, so 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2 into the first, 1 and 2 into the second. Then we're going to finish this round with 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3. So we have 22 single crochets, and for round 5 it says back loops only, double crochet into every stitch. So in the back loops only I'm going to do a single crochet into every stitch around. So back loops only, 22 single crochets. '21 and 22. So we're now going to be going back through both the loops. So for round 6 it tells us to double crochet 2, decrease, double crochet 1 3 times, decrease, double crochet 9. So I'm going to single crochet 2, single crochet 2 stitches together, single crochet 1 3 times, single crochet 2 stitches together, and single crochet 9 for a total of 18 stitches. So we're going to single crochet 2, 1 and 2, and now I'm going to decrease, double crochet, I'm going to decrease and single crochet 1 3 times. So decrease, single crochet 1, do that again, decrease, single crochet 1, one more time, decrease, single crochet 1, then I'm going to decrease again and single crochet 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So for round 7 it says double crochet 4, decrease 3 times. So I'm going to single crochet 4, single crochet 2 stitches together 3 times for a total of 15 stitches. So single crochet 1, 2, 3 and 4, decrease for 5, single crochet 6, 7, 8 and 9, decrease for 10, single crochet 11, 12, 13 and 14, decrease for 15. So now it tells us for rounds 8 to 12, which is 5 rounds, double crochet into each stitch. So I'm going to single crochet into every stitch for 5 rounds. And I'll meet you back here soon. And when you've finished, slip knot to join and fasten off. Or slip stitch to join and fasten off. Pull that tail through. We're going to stuff the leg and then we can sew the leg into place. Now onto the arms. I've already done one, I've done the black one. So one arm's in black and one arm's in red. So I'm going to be showing you how to make the red one. And as you can see, I've already made one of these arms and I didn't like the way it was made. And every time I've made arms, it's been different. But this method particularly, I didn't like. But I'll show you it anyway. So I'm going to be working in red, and to begin, we're going to do double crochet into a magic ring. So I'm going to do 6 single crochets into a magic ring. So I'm going to move Harry out the way. I'm going to slip knot onto hook, chain 2, 1 and 2, and I'm going to do 6 single crochets into the second chain from hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So round 2 says increase 6 times, so I'm going to do 2 single crochets into every stitch around for a total of 12 stitches. So into the first stitch I'm going to single crochet, 1 and 2, into the next stitch 3 and 4, into the next stitch 5 and 6, into the next 7 and 8, into the next 9 and 10, and into the last stitch of this round 11 and 12. So for rounds 3 to 8, so for 6 rounds I'm going to double crochet into every stitch. So for 6 rounds I'm going to single crochet into every stitch around, and I'll meet you back here when I'm done. So for round 9 it tells us to double crochet 2, increase 4 times. So I'm going to single crochet 2 and then do 2 single crochets into the following stitch 4 times for a total of 16 stitches. So single crochet 2, 1 and 2, and then increase for 3 and 4, single crochet 5 and 6, increase in the next stitch for 7 and 8, single crochet 9 and 10, increase in the next stitch for 11 and 12, single crochet 13 and 14, and increase in the next stitch for 15 and 16. Now round 10 tells us to double crochet 3, increase 4 times. So I'm going to single crochet 3, do 2 single crochets into the following stitch 4 times for a total of 20 stitches. So I'm going to single crochet for 1, 2 and 3, increase for 4 and 5, single crochet 6, 7, 8, increase in the next stitch for 9 and 10, single crochet 11, 12, 13, increase in the next stitch for 14 and 15, single crochet 16, 17 and 18, increase in the last stitch for 19 and 20. So it now tells us to fasten off and weave in ends. So I am going to slip stitch to join and fasten off. And I'm going to leave a long tail because I'll use this to sew the arm onto Harry a little later on. Now this is the part that confused me, because if I was making this arm, I would have joined, what I would have done 2 rows ago is done that row in the front loops only, and that would have left the back loops exposed. I then would have picked up the back loops with the pink colour yarn to continue and make Harry's hand. But what this pattern calls for is to do the arm separately and the hand separately, and then we're going to sew them onto one another shortly. But we also need to stuff the arm and the hand, so it makes it difficult to do and sew it together because the stuffing all falls out. So we just found this an unusual way to do a hand and an arm. You get the same outcome, but sometimes why make things more difficult for yourself? So the arm is done, and now I'm going to do the hand as instructed. So with the beige yarn, it tells me to do 6 double crochet into a magic ring. So slip knot onto my hook, chain 2, 1 and 2, 6 single crochets into the second chain from hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then for round 2, increase 6 times. So I'm going to do 2 single crochets into all of these stitches for a total of 12 stitches. So I'm going to increase all the way around. So into the first stitch, I'm going to do 1 and 2. There we go, 2. Into the next. Three and 4, into the next, 5 and 6, into the next, 7 and 8, into the next, 9 and 10, and into the next, 11 and 12. 11 and 12. So now for 3 rounds, double crochet into each stitch. So for rounds 3 to 5, I'm going to single crochet into every stitch around. So 3 rounds of single crochet. Then I'm going to slip stitch to join. I'm going to do that twice apparently. Slip stitch to join. Chain one and fasten off. And I'm going to leave a long yarn tail. And I'm going to add at this point a bit of stuffing into the arm. I'm going to add a little bit more later after we've sewn some of the hand onto the arm. And now it asks us to fasten off, leave long tail for sewing, stuff arm and sew hand to inside of sleeve to form a small cuff. Now, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to put the yarn tail from the hand onto my needle. And this just gets a little bit messy, but if you can hear in the background now, my cat is thanking me for his tea. So he likes to walk around the house howling. His name's Henry, he's a Bengal, and he's so vocal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the cuff back. So the last 2 rows of the arm, I'm going to fold them back, and that's where I'm going to attach the hand. Now remember, you can't take the needle to the opposite side of your work because you'll see the stitches because it's a different colour. So what we're going to have to do to attach the hand is to pick up little tiny bits of yarn from inside, never going all the way through because it'll be visible on the opposite side. So I'm going to do this around, sewing this hand into place, and when there's about 5 stitches left, I'm going to stop, add a little bit more stuff into the arm and the hand, and then I'll continue to sew it closed. So I just hate this method, honestly. It's really fiddly. The stuffing's popping out. Have to be really careful not to go all the way through the arm so that you see the stitches. I just don't like it. So I've only got a couple of stitches left, and this is the gap that I've got left. I'm going to add some more stuffing into the hand and the arm, which is a difficult way to do it because the hand's quite small, but I'll do the best I can. So I'm going to leave it there like that, and then I'm going to close that hole completely. So this gap now, I'm going to sew it completely closed, but as you can see, the stuffing is trying to force its way out. Okay, and then I'm going to weave in the hand tail and cut it off. Now with the red yarn tail, I'm going to pop that onto my needle next. And I'm going to thread this tail to the top of the work. And now I'm going to use this tail to sew the arm into place. So I'm going to grab Harry. I'm going to hold, find which side I want to be facing in, hold it into place, and now I'm going to sew it into place. So the last thing to do is his badge. So with the yellow yarn, you get an awful lot of yellow yarn for this little badge. It says the badge is crocheted in rows, use yellow yarn, do not work into the chain 1. So row 1, chain 3. So obviously we're going to do a slip knot onto the hook, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Then for row 2 it tells us to chain 1, double crochet 3 and turn. So it's doing that weird thing again where it puts the chain 1s at the beginning of the rows instead of at the end. So I'm going to do it alternatively. I'm going to do my chain 1s and turns at the end of the rows. So, but for this one, because we need a turning chain, I'm going to do the extra chain 1, and now I'm going to single crochet 3. So from the second chain from hook, I'm going to single crochet 3. 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Row 3 says decrease slip stitch for 2 stitches. So I'm going to single crochet 2 stitches together and then slip stitch for 2 stitches. So single crochet together, and then slip stitch. Okay, and then I need to turn the page for the next part. Oh, that's all there is for the badge. So after here, after the slip stitch, fasten off is all I can assume they mean. So let me find the picture. Yeah, it must be. So fasten off, cut the yarn tail. It doesn't even tell us to sew it on. So if I bring Harry back in, I'm going to pin this badge into place on the black part of his jersey, and then I'll sew. It doesn't look anything like the badge in the picture, but it'll have to do. So with the yarn tails at both sides, I'm going to sew the badge into place. I feel like there's part of the badge pattern missing. I don't feel like it was all there. And there is the completed Harry. Now this pattern did actually have an instruction for making the snitch, but I've had enough of this pattern. I can't even think of doing any more with it because I just haven't enjoyed making it. This has been one of the hardest kits to make, and it's not through lack of understanding of expertise, it's through how difficult the pattern's been written and the quality of the yarn. This is just, it's been so difficult to get through. So my thoughts and opinions, and remember these are just my thoughts and opinions, and someone else might love this pattern, but I would have rather the crochet kit be more expensive and have better quality yarn in it. Now the yarn is just horrible. It's so fluffy, and I don't know whether it's not spun, it's all different thicknesses. So what happens is your hook gets caught, the stitches get caught, your finished doll looks fluffy because it's not a smooth finish. It's hard to work with. The crochet hook splits the yarn constantly, and I just hated it. This yarn is going straight into the bin. And what I find funny is that this crochet kit was actually intended to be an advanced skill level, and I feel like if you're an advanced crocheter then you will have a yarn stash. I would have just rather have been able to have purchased this pattern without the bits that come in this box, because in total this has taken me 5 days to film because I've got frustrated and had to stop, and because it's taken me so long to do a piece of work that would ordinarily probably take me a couple of hours. So that said about the yarn. Now regarding the hook and the needle, this is a massive improvement on the last crochet kit we did, because in the last crochet kit the hook was plastic and it kept bending and it wasn't dealing with my tension that I use. It was still difficult to get used to using this hook because as I said, I'm used to using the hooks with the ergonomic grips, and these aren't even expensive, but I would never expect to find one of these in a crochet kit. But again, if you're an advanced crocheter, I suppose you wouldn't need their hook because you would have your own. So that is all the stuff in that came with the kit. Now onto the pattern. Oh, I just hated it. I hated the way it was written. The hair, for example, didn't explain how to do the fringe properly. I don't understand what all the plus signs are in between the abbreviations. I've done thousands of crochet patterns and this is so unusual to see the plus signs. There's also no consistency, so sometimes it has what to do as a repeat in brackets, and then other times it just doesn't. With the hands, I didn't like the way the hands were written. I didn't like the concept of popping them onto one another. With the badge, it didn't even have an end, so I don't know how that finished. I just didn't like it. I didn't like working through it. And I don't think some of it makes sense. Well, I don't think a lot of it makes sense. I think people, you would definitely have to be an advanced crocheter to understand most of this. So, yeah, so they're my opinions. I like how Harry turned out. Oh, another thing, the colours that you've received are not the colours that are on the picture. So, the scarf, for example, the colour I've picked now, I think, is extremely close to what's on the picture, the photographs. But the colour that they sent me is just ridiculous. It was the same colour as the skin colour. So I don't know whether that was just an error. But what worries me is I have another two of these patterns. I have Dumbledore and I have McGonagall. And I'm just not looking forward to doing them because this has been a labour. And I wouldn't even say a labour of love because it started off so well. And then it went downhill so fast. So I really hope that somebody has able to find this video and has been able to complete the project, because if you were a new crocheter or maybe a crocheter with some skill, I think you could still struggle with this pattern and you would get so frustrated with this yarn, like so easy. So the thought of making this stitch, no, I just can't. I can't. I've got to close this book and I've got to be done with this pattern because it's been 5 days of my life and I've got to edit it next. So, whew, that was my moan. I really appreciate everyone who stuck around for this, and and I haven't even mentioned the fact that I sewed his head on backwards so that it looks like, so that the jersey is the wrong way. Oh, this has just been a complete fail. But I hope you liked this video. I hope if you bought this kit, you have been able to finish it using some of the help from these video tutorials. And I'll be back very soon with another kit, maybe. Or maybe I'll do something different. I'm not too sure. If you find any crochet kits that you like, will you leave them in the description box below, because I do want to collect these. I think it's really good to help people read patterns and understand crochet terminology. So other than that, I hope you have a lovely day and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Take care. Bye now.